3 minutes after 7 o'clock in Trinidad and Tobago as we move into the second hour of Morning Edition on this Wednesday. And again, we appreciate the fact that you are with us on this Wednesday morning with all that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago and beyond. We are joined now by National Award recipient Rihanna Harryalal. She's the president of the Voice of Lupus organization to discuss Lupus Awareness Day, which was observed yesterday. Today, which she'll share with us the significance of the day, what was done to commemorate it, and indeed the challenges faced by those like herself as far as getting the necessary medication and support in relation to coping with the challenges of lupus. And there are different stages and levels of severity when we talk about the condition that is lupus. Ms. Harryalal, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, good morning, Fazir. Thank you for having me.
I think we well recall your own testimony of the challenges that you would have faced, and when we spoke to you as well immediately after receiving the award about how difficult it has become to get the necessary treatment and so on, and we may have some time to touch on that as well. But the Lupus Awareness Day yesterday, what would have been done to mark the day as far as highlighting the challenges faced by those coping with lupus?
Sure. So yesterday we popped for lupus awareness. We put on purple, and we were able to get so many members members of the public to stand in solidarity with us in terms of wearing purple. Even we had the governor of the central bank along with members of central bank wearing purple, sharing their photos and stuff like that. There was a huge social media presence. We also marked the day, even though we could not physically host an event because listen, we're still in a pandemic. COVID is still very real, and we are very susceptible. We cannot congregate it. We really need to be careful. We still were able to host an event virtually where we held our virtual candlelight vigil as well as our get together. And of course, SAPA, the Southern Academy of the Performing Arts, went purple. They were on board in terms of raising awareness through lighting their building purple for the cause. The mayor of Shogunas also stood with us wearing purple and sharing a video just highlighting his support behind the cause. So it was I wish we could have met physically. We could have done so much more, but given the space, given everything, we tried to make most of it. Plus, we had a lot of, interactions with members of the media just to shine a light on the disease, continue to raise awareness. I mean, this year's theme, Let's Make Lupus Visible. The only way we could have done that was really through advocating and wearing the color that symbolizes the illness. And of course, getting patients together on a platform where they can interact, share their stories. I mean, last night on Zoom, which was streamed on our Facebook page, it was absolutely wonderful. But we also heard stories of, patients struggling to get public assistance, disability forms signed. Some of them are still having issues sourcing medications like hydroxychloroquine, Celsep, Imuran. These are some of the medications, crucial life-saving medications that's needed to control our illness, and still patients are having to cheat on their dosage, look at their doses and say, okay, I'm supposed to take 2, but I can only take 1 because I cannot afford to buy any. I can't find it in the hospitals, so it's a real struggle. And this is where we come in, again, lamenting that, we provide food, we provide medication, but there's a cost to the organization. So this month too, until July, we're hosting a virtual 5K to raise money for the organization so that we can, continue to support those who need the help,
Okay, so let's put the basic information out there as far as that particular event, and indeed generally if people want to support the 5K or support any other fundraising activity or just generally support the foundation, what do they have to do?
You can contact us, reach out directly to the Lupus Learning Resources phone number, our office line 221-9677. You can also reach us via the helpline 327-0220. That is the number that is used to support our patient support group on WhatsApp and also on Facebook. We are on all social media. You can look us up, find us. Ticket Bay is the platform that we are using to register persons. The cost is is only a donation of $135. You will get a finisher's medal as well as a purple mask for your support, as well as we also have a package that we're doing with t-shirts, and that package is valued $300. So we are looking to raise funds in a creative way, fun way, and of course, to be able to help all patients. That's the most important mission, to really provide that food support, that medication needs that needs to be filled right now because of what's happening in the public health system.
And that's why I have to ask you, Ms. Harilal, and forgive me for sounding the way I sound about it. I mean, we could light up, not I personally, but we could light up this whole studio in purple in support. We could all wear purple. We could wear purple socks, purple drawers, whatever it is. But if it is that it's not translating into anything real, as far as people accessing medication, as far as people getting the support to help them in these difficult circumstances, all of that is really meaningless.
Yes, it is. It is to a point meaningless because it does not equate to the help. However, in terms of the awareness, in terms of, I think Trinidad has done pretty well. I mean, when I say Trinidad, we have made so much headways in terms of getting the awareness out there, because 10 years ago, people weren't even wearing a color purple for lupus on May 10th. And the mere fact that we're getting there, it's slow, but we're getting this. I want to be optimistic. I want to look at this as.
And I understand you're optimistic, and you must have an optimistic outlook.
I have to.
But tell us, I mean, and again, we heard your own story when we interviewed you after you got the national award. Is there anything happening in the public sector where you mentioned the hydrochloroquine?
Yes, I have to say yes, because right after that interview, I got a call from the CEO of Agostini, who right now they were in a process of transitioning with Smith Robinson, and they were able, look at, I have furniture now for Zir.
Right, okay, well, say something again that could get you or others more furniture or more resources, because
resources, yes, so I mean, it's slow, but it's getting there. So I need to really rely on the optimism and the faith and the hope that has been keeping us alive, relevant, and even myself, because it's quite discouraging. Do you know how many phone calls I take on a day where patients say, listen, I have no food. They cut my grant, or the doctors still don't want to sign my disability form. The doctors still don't want to put me on public assistance because the doctors say that I didn't lose a limb, so I'm not disabled. That kind of nonsense, and it's hard. It's really hard. Sometimes I have to turn away people because I don't have the resources to provide it.
And therefore, and I think, and I understand the need for you to be optimistic, because, well, you want to live, you want to enjoy a quality life, you want to help those as well. But just that situation that you mentioned, someone saying, well, you ain't lose a limb, so there's no need for you to get any sort of grant or any sort of thing. Have you seen any improvement in that attitude as far as understanding that lupus is a condition that may not be visible, but is real and can be debilitating?
I would say it's half and half, because we're still struggling with the same issue that, when I first appeared on your program, maybe 7 years ago. We're still asking for the same things, and that it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Inclusion, just to be included, just to be understood, having to, continually validate, listen, I don't look sick, but I am battling an invisible illness. It's very, very hard. And, platforms like this help us to continue to, build that support, so thank you.
And what would you like to see beyond another call from somebody else offering you a table and chair or something or the other? What would you like to see?
When you say it like that, I know a table and chair cannot provide the needs of a patient, but listen, if I could send you a photo of how empty this place was, to appreciate the little that has been done in terms of, at least, when patients come, they don't have to, stand or sit on a plastic chair. We are grateful for the little, but my appeal will continually be for my patients. I'm appealing to the Ministry of Health, the Minister of Health, to please ensure that there's an adequate supply. Whoever is responsible for ordering these drugs, please ensure that there's an adequate supply of hydroxychloroquine, Celsep, Imuran, all the drugs that's needed. We have a patient complaining that she started the infusion rituximab at San Fernando, the teaching hospital, and they are just hooking her up to an IV, and she said this is the patient's claim, she almost died because they hooked her up to the line started going, the dispensing of the drug started happening too fast, and she began strangling, and nobody was there. Down to when patients walk into the emergency room, rather than, doctors are trained or nurses are trained to spot, listen, it's lupus can affect all systems of the body. You have nurses and stuff telling patients, you don't look sick, you're not sick, you just came here for a quick fix, because we live in pain, so we rely on heavy pain meds. So some people are told that, oh, listen, they have a dependency on pain meds, it's not real, your illness is not real.
Therefore, I mean, and that is a almost crippling reality that you and maybe many of the other members would have to face. But what would you, beyond your continuing plea for the medication and the availability of the medication, we're coming the day after Lupus Awareness Day, what if there were one thing that you would like to see change in our national environment to improve the circumstances of persons coping with lupus, what would that be?
I think I would definitely ask for, the inclusion where there's change in policy, the way disabilities looked at. Not all disabilities look as though you've lost a limb, you're on a wheelchair. There needs to be more awareness on invisible disabilities like lupus, even fibromyalgia, which affects a lot of patients. 80% of lupus patients develop something called fibromyalgia, which is a central nervous system illness where the nerves of the body, become inflamed and stuff like that. And the other thing for Zero My mission, or vision, I should say, for the organization, is really to, to build a hospice or center where we can start housing patients, because many patients, when they get critically ill, apart from being in the hospital, family support is so lacking. They are unable to care for their patients. So that's a vision that we want to establish, where we can have an actual facility to care. We have doctors on standby abroad willing to come to provide certain levels of care for our patients, but I have nowhere to put them, So this is one of the long-term visions of the organization, to build this lupus hospice so that we can provide the right care, the right treatment for those living with lupus in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean as well.
And before time runs out on us, Ms. Harilal, just to remind us again, with the virtual 5K that is coming up, just remind us again about the event that's coming up, and indeed how people could actually contact the organization in any way if they want to get more information.
Sure. You can even register for the virtual 5K. Let's make lupus visible in terms of utilizing ticketbay.com, Voice of Lupus 5K. You can register online with a credit card, or you can contact the organization 327-0220 on WhatsApp, and we can send you the link. We can also send you the banking details where you can make a deposit, screenshot the payment, and of course we will enter you into the race. You do it on your own time, and of course you'll get a really nice shiny medal in support of
and we have a couple of minutes still left available to us, and maybe this might be for the edification of those in the various public health facilities who will say, well, you ain't looking sick, nothing wrong with you, you just want free medication. How do you explain a condition like lupus for those who may not understand it at all?
The best way to describe lupus is, apart from saying it's invisible, really helping persons to understand the function of the immune system. The immune system is meant to protect the body. When you have lupus, your body turns against you. Your immune system turns against you. It starts creating those antibodies that starts to destroy healthy organs, tissues, and cells. Being allergic to the sun. Can you imagine living in the Caribbean and telling someone, I can't go out in the sun, I'm allergic to the sun? They'll watch you and laugh. and a lot of patients, they use umbrellas, wear, long sleeve clothing, wear sunscreen and stuff like that, So it's really, the onus continues to be on us. The pressure is on us to continue mounting the awareness, to get people in the know. Listen, lupus can look like this. Lupus can look like somebody on a wheelchair or on a deathbed. It does not have a face, because no two lupus patients look alike.
And as far as that is concerned, you said you wanted to sound optimistic that over, since the number of years that you've been advocating, slowly you're seeing changes. Are you encouraged? Do you feel hopeful that, if not for yourself directly, that at some point in the not too distant future, hopefully, that there will be a greater level of understanding and therefore compassion and concern for those coping with lupus? Do you see that happening?
Yes, I do see that, because yesterday, we had some kindergarten students actually doing posters, how to be kind to someone living with lupus, getting the kids involved and educating children, because we have to start teaching the younger ones, because lupus doesn't just affect, old fowls like me, I would say, lupus affects, everybody. We have young cases where, 5-month-old neonatal lupus. We have, 5-year-olds living with lupus nephritis. So lupus affects anyone, any organ at any time. And yes, Fazir, I will go down being optimistic. You were cracking me up here. I know it sounds silly to be so hopeful in the case of, we are seeing so much suffering with our patients in terms of lack of adequate care with medication, and even, the social services department failing some of our patients, but we have to, this is what we need to do. We just have to. I'm going to fly that flag of hope until it's my turn to return to the ground. I'm going to do that.
Ms. Harilal, we appreciate your commitment and your optimism in the face of these many challenges. And again, congratulations on receiving that national award. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to be with us. Coming up towards 7:20 in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's see what image we have for you now as we head to another break. Showers of gold on Willow's End compound in Pearl Gardens from Roger McDowell. Very, very nice indeed as we go to the break.